Hey everybody, this is Great Black Swamp Talk, so we all may prosper. I have a very special guest with me today, running for City Council, District 5, Sam Melden. Given our strong mayor form of government, what do you see as your role in City Council being?
I don't see it, I see it two ways. One, what the role is, which is we're the, let's go back to Civics 101, right? So the mayor and the administration is the executive branch, and we're the legislative branch. We have to kind of do that balance. The biggest thing there is watching the budget. It's a $600 million plus business, right, in our community. Right. And it's not even a business; it's really a nonprofit. Let me just pause on that for a second. So I think this is one of the spaces where my experience in nonprofits serves me really well here. When you are working in a nonprofit organization that is funded by dollars given to you by donors, you have to be really respectful of the way you spend your money. Right. I think the same thing, we should have that exact same mentality to taxpayers. Right. Every single one of us is working hard and paying taxes, and we need a government that uses those dollars as efficiently as possible. That's one of the biggest roles of City Council. The other thing I would say that isn't necessarily, well, it's been a theme of our conversation, it hasn't been done as well, is we have to be responsive to the citizens. We have to be available and open. And that's one of the reasons in my campaign we put out this thing called a 24-hour guarantee, which is cheesy, but it's cheesy so you remember it, all right? And the simple idea is, and it, you know, if you have a concern in your neighborhood, this pothole or this branch fell down, or you're starting to open a business and you just need that permit to go through, I don't think it's crazy that you would call someone in the city and they would get back to you in 24 hours. And I know a lot of people in the city would probably be like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. But I don't care. Who do we work for? Right? Taxpayers. We work for the citizens.
The citizens.
That's right. And so I think that a quick response is another part of the role of City Council.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about your platform.
Yeah. So my platform for District 5 is all about neighborhoods. Safe, strong, sustainable neighborhoods. If I were to break out those words a little bit, we've kind of swam around all these topics already, right. But so safety is the biggest thing. That is the biggest concern when I'm on doors. They're like, I guess I care about safety. I want everybody to be safe. District 5 is one of the safest set of neighborhoods in Toledo.
Absolutely.
And so, you got to dig into that a little bit and ask what they mean. And so we've had some of those conversations, but I think safety in general, it goes back to why, speeding through residential streets is a bigger deal than people like to mention. It's a big concern. I know how many people are having their kids play on intersections of major roads, but they're playing in their front yard, and a kid 1 second turns around. And so that's a safety concern. Strong. Some people ask, what is a strong neighborhood? To me, a strong neighborhood is one where the neighbors are connected. When I was, so I'm 35. I think we're similar ages.
Yeah, I'll be 35 a month from now.
Look out.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got you.
84?
84.
All right, it was a good year.
No, so when we were born,
yeah,
I would bet more money than I have that there were more block parties in Toledo than there were block watches. Yeah. And now I know for a fact that it's the opposite. This is not to diminish block watches. Block watches are really, really important, but they are fundamentally predicated upon what is going wrong.
Right.
And what's a block party? A block party is about what we have.
Unity, coming together.
Exactly. What's the unique culture of this neighborhood, and how do we all get to know each other and kind of raise the expectations of neighboring one another? And so strong neighborhoods are one where they're connected. So if you were to go to sammelden.com/blockparties, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for District 5 neighbors to understand how to throw a block party. It's not that complicated, but you got to find the form.
Okay.
You have to know how to find the form first. But then beyond that, I want to work to encourage and go recruit local businesses to sponsor block parties. Okay. So if you're a local business near that neighborhood, easy. Maybe you're a business owner who owns something in Waterville, but you're from that neighborhood. Well, that means you can ask them, kick in $500 to cover the expenses of some food and water, and let's build up our neighborhoods that way. So that's a strong neighborhood. And then sustainable is what I said earlier about the budget. None of this works. None of it works if we don't run our government in a sustainable way. Which, the way you do that is by thinking about the future, not just the immediate moment we're in. We have to plan for the future in our budgeting conversations too.
Obviously, there's a safety concern that some people have with law enforcement, right? And that's calling law enforcement does not necessarily make them safer in that situation. Can you talk about your perspective of this and what your perspective would bring to City Council?
Yeah, so I think there's an enormous amount of respect that we need to begin with. So that means that when District 5 has a business that's getting a lot of complaints, it is inappropriate for a city council member to call the owners of that business cockroaches. It's inappropriate. It is appropriate to reach out to that business owner and say, how can we work through this? These are real concerns. Neighborhood has concerns, so let's work through this together. It's also really important that members of District 5, and this is tricky because the NIMBY mentality, not in my backyard, is so easy to default to. So there's a lot of people in District 5 who only are concerned about District 5. I know I can't go there, right? District 5 is not strong without a strong city, right? So we have to think about the whole conversation. So let's talk about safety. Some neighbors in District 5 have mentioned to me, I want to see more police patrolling and more activity. And I understand that sentiment. The trick is that, security follows demand, and they're going to different parts of the city. So I think having conversations with how police officers engage with those neighbors, I'm in full support and think that we ought to even figure out more ways to incentivize police officers being hired from the neighborhoods that they're serving. We should get as creative as possible. Let's push the envelope nationwide on how to get creative with incentivizing public safety to be in the neighborhood where they live. And that means both sides, right? We have to take the neighborhood's voice into account there, and we have to talk to the actual officers about what would you want. We can't just make it feel like an obligation. We have to incentivize them in a way that says, all right, let's either move back into this community, get to know your neighbors, go back into the strong neighborhood thing, or hire, probably better even, hire from those neighborhoods where they're serving.
You brought up a quote from your current city councilman, Tom Waniewski. He won't be your city councilman much longer. Can you talk about his time as city councilman, the things that you like that he's done, the things that you don't like that he's done, and what you learned and what you plan to do differently?
So I've said the one. I mean, the big one is we got to be careful how we speak about people. That's a big one. I remember it was a few years ago. There was a comment about flower pots and gunshots, and I just think there is no benefit so large that I would get from people in District 5 that would make me talk poorly of people in other districts. There's zero benefit, right? So how we carry ourselves, the language we use is very, very important, which is just about respect, I think. On the good side, I would say that he has a really great track record of being really sharp on the budget. And he's been really open about that. I've sat with him a few times in the last year and said, help me talk to me about the budget. What are concerns you have? What are kind of insights that you have? I think that he's probably he thinks fiscally first, kind of above all else. There's something to be said for really paying attention to the budget in that way, and I think he's done a good job of that.
This is Great Black Swamp Talk. Remember, swamp up or sit down so we all may prosper. Peace. Follow Golden Rule Mac on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And don't forget to vote in the primary election by September 10th. Thanks for watching.